Hi, everybody. Alberto Vasallo here from GBH Amplifies, our conversations from the Boston Public Library. Tune in, join us, and hopefully you will learn, laugh, and like right here from the Boston Public Library. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to GBH Amplifies. This is another in a series of conversations with community leaders here straight from the Boston Public Library studios of GBH. And today I have four great, amazing guests. They're going to talk a little bit about their American journey, their American stories. You are going to be inspired because we have an American journey that started in Honduras, another in Colombia, another in Mexico, and another in Cuba. And to get things kicked off, I'm going to start to my left. One of my favorite people, Grace Moreno. Grace, tell us, look into that beautiful camera that loves you, by the way, where you came from and how you got to Boston. Your journey in 30 seconds or less.
Great. So I am Mexicana, came from Mexico when I was in my early teens, and immigrated to Houston, Texas, where I lived for a while. And Boston is the first place I picked, not for a job or a school or a relationship. This was where I wanted to be. That was my journey here to Boston.
And we're going to hear more about what you've done here in Boston, all the positive impact, all the ruckus you've caused. All right. Jordan, I love your story.
Yeah.
I'm a little partial to your story.
Yeah, well, I was born in Cuba.
Yep.
And in 1999, my family won the diversity visa lottery. And
What is that? That means in Cuba you get to leave based on a lottery?
so you get to apply for a lottery. And if you're eligible and end up winning,
They let you leave.
they let you leave. And my family won that lottery after 3 attempts of leaving on a raft. And the last thing I remember was talking to my grandmother, and she said, "What are you waiting for? Get out of here." And that was the last time I saw her in person. And since I came to Miami, and now I'm in Boston, and I'm really happy to be here.
Okay, to my immediate right, I had her at the Hispanic Heritage Breakfast, and we all got a little kind of dose of her journey. So I wanted to share with many of you here, not just who are watching us, but that we've got a great studio audience. So I want you to project the way you did at the Hispanic Heritage Breakfast. Tell me who you are and what you do.
Yes, so I am Lisette Velez, and nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And you've known me since I was 14 years old, so really long time.
We don't talk about age on the show.
But I came from Medellin, Colombia. I was 7 years old, and so for me, I had no choice, and I had a lot of enthusiasm. I was excited. I was just a little girl with a lot of dreams and a lot of hopes. And so for me, I couldn't wait to get here, landed in Newark, New Jersey, and made my way over to Lowell, Massachusetts, because that's where the jobs were at the time. And that's where my parents decided to, stake a ground and work hard, and here we are.
Okay, and
Yeah.
you have a fascinating story as well. So here's the beautiful part of today's show is you're not just going to learn their journey, but these are four individuals who are making a major impact here in Boston. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. But I want to finish the introduction to my buddy, Paul Francisco. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who he is, there's a few of us in corporate Boston who don't know who he is. But for the masses, Paul, in case you ever run for office, here's your opportunity to tell everybody what you've done and how you got here.
Here's my pitch.
Yeah.
So I got to Boston under false pretenses. And what I mean by that, my mother told me I was coming here for a 2-week vacation. And so I prepared to come here just for a 2-week vacation. And the night before we were to go back to Honduras, I'm from Honduras originally, my grandmother and my mother told me that I was staying to go to school. And it was a very emotional moment because I wasn't prepared. I was a 17-year-old kid, and I didn't speak English, and I wanted to go back and be with my family and friends. And I felt a little bit betrayed by my mom, but unbeknownst to me, she knew that this was going to be the land of my future, and it has been for me. And Boston has been home for me for many years. Has given me so many opportunities, and so part of my American dream, after I realized I had no choice and option but to stay, was to make my dreams a reality. And Boston and the United States has allowed me to do that.
Yeah, and it's safe to say for the studio audience, these are four immigrant stories, right? We talk a lot, that word is being used a lot today, whether it's documented, undocumented, or your journeys, but you all are immigrants who are making an incredible positive contribution to the city of Boston. And when we get to that, I'm going to continue with you, Paul. because you have a very important job at State Street. Big company here. I want folks to kind of get an idea of what your daily job is. And then I want to show a little video clip that many of you have not seen. There's a little picture of him when he was 17 years old. But first, tell us what you do at State Street. What's your day job?
So my day job, I'm the Chief Diversity Officer at State Street Corporation, a company that is a global company, 53,000 people. And I lead our strategies around inclusion, diversity, and equity. And contrary to popular belief, it is a must for our business. It is a must for our clients, for our communities, for our colleagues. And so what I do is I try to lead the strategy, try to set goals for the organization around representation, around inclusion, belonging, safety, wellness, and those type of things, which inclusion, diversity, and equity bring to the table. So I'm very proud of the work that we're doing. State Street has been doing this work for a long time, and committed to doing the work.
All right, so when I'm going to keep teasing this video. Tim Estilos knows what I mean by teasing it, and I'm really going to draw, and Alex, who's also in the audience today. All right, so I told you her journey's amazing. Listen to this. What do you own here in Massachusetts, young lady?
So I am the founder and CEO of LJV Development.
What is that?
We are a construction management company out of Boston, and we focus on federal and commercial construction, primarily existing conditions. So we're trying to help create existing spaces better or more safe. Or, as a child, I learned early on that your environment is huge and who you are and what you can bring to the world. And so I'm kind of working to making sure we can all live and work in good spaces.
So construction is a male-dominant industry. Yes. You are not only just female, you're Latina, an immigrant,
yes,
and obviously young, right? So how challenging has that been, or has it been a benefit?
Well, it's always about how you look at things. I think there's pros and cons, right, for how you look at it. I was personally prepared to be in a male-dominated world. It's funny, I've actually been more comfortable in a male industries. So I'll give you an example. Joined the military. During the Army, which my first job was a truck driver, all males. Then I switched over to the Air Force, part of a civil engineering squadron, mostly males. And then I looked back and I was like, wow, I have 4 brothers. So I've only been around male energy, and this is probably why I find myself in these spaces. So in many ways, I think that I've always just come to the rooms, and, even if you didn't, like what you saw, or you kind of question my presence being there. For me, it was like, I'm here, and that's your problem, not mine.
Deal with
yes.
it.
Don't project on me. So
excellent.
Just keep it moving.
All right, let's keep it moving. Grace,
yeah.
Talk to me. You have a lot of titles. I don't know which one to use right now. You've worn many hats, and very nicely worn, by the way. But how do you identify? Oh, when someone meets you, so see our gentleman right there?
Yes,
right
yes,
there. No,
yes.
right there. You, my friend.
Yes.
Right. How would you describe to him who you are?
Oh,
On a professional level.
On a
what
professional
yeah.
level. So I've spent the last 25 years, and it's crazy to be able to say last 25 years, right? Working in the non-for-profit social justice impact place. So I've done housing, I've done civic engagement, I've done economic development, I've done Latino politics back when it was Oiste, 25 years ago. And LGBTQ issues, which was where I really was able to show up as my full self and be able to really bring in inclusion. I think, right now I'm doing some consulting work, and this is the first time in my life, in my American dream, where I've taken a pause to say, all right, I'm reaching the ripe old age of 40. Kidding. What do I want the rest of my career to be? Where do I want to be, and what do I want to do? And the beauty about that is, in this country, you can actually do that. Right? You can actually stop in your mid-50s and say, what's the rest of my story? Because I'm not done telling it, right? I've already done all this contribution. What's the rest? And so, for me, I think I like to take on a challenge, a startup, a project that really needs to be revamped, I like to get into a hard problem, and I like to find the innovation in that hard problem, right? So if somebody says, you make this with 2 cups of flour and 1 cup of water, and you have to I'm like, no, we got to figure this way, some other way out. Like we don't have these resources. What's the other thing we can do? And I think in our current environment, as we think about what's happening in our country, this is the moment for that kind of thinking, right? How do we get in and, people say make lemonade out of lemons. I want to say, how do we make gold out of lemons, right? And we can do that.
Excellent. All right. I told you this young man to my left does some work with one of my favorite sports teams. So I'm going to let him talk about that. So from Cuba to Boston, and in Boston, you have a couple hats as well. Tell me a little bit about who you've worked with, your college, and kind of your professional resume.
My whole life has been a picture of you're one person away from being successful. And growing up in Miami after I came from Cuba, my dad and my brother, they have an office. It's on 18 wheels. They're both truck drivers, and they're consistently always, providing for a family that way. So we were always trying to figure out what were the next steps. And, being a tall young man really early on, sports was something that I gravitated towards, and sports became my vehicle. So I went to college. I played at Morehouse College, and I finished here at LaSalle University. And I say that to say none of that would have been possible without the people that were instrumental in my life that kind of helped me apply to college, helped me figure out what scholarships meant, and just what the necessary step-by-step things to do were to continue to grow and become successful. And I'm proud to say that right now I work with Amplify Latinx, which is also an organization that makes that difference in the Latino community. So it really fills my cup of servicing our Latino industries, regardless of sector. We operate as a representation. So earlier on, we had some young kids sitting here. I was so happy that they saw us 5 sitting here. I imagine to them, we look like, the dream team of what they can become just from industries and different countries. And that's what we do at Amplify Latinx. I brought this fan. You all may have been familiar with this fan. You can find one on our website, and it's something really exciting to be able to advance Latino prosperity here in the Commonwealth in the different avenues that we do. We champion policy, we champion business and leadership representation. So doing that with Amplify is the most exciting thing I do. And lastly, the Boston Celtics.
There we go.
Being able to...
You probably thought you meant the Red Sox. Alex was thinking, no, the Celtics, right?
Yeah, being able to teach the youth and just share some of the lessons that I've learned along the way from some of my coaches that have impacted my life. It's been a dream come true.
All right, so now I want to do this fun little segment right now with our producers here. You know what, Paul? Let's look at that little video. We have a video. It's an excerpt. It's less than a minute that we did at Mundo Latino 30 Under 30, and we kind of wanted to focus on Paul's story. So if we have that video, let's run that little clip right now.
So the reason I came to Boston was originally for a 2-week vacation, and as it turned out, I stayed to go to school here. So I was 17, came from Honduras, didn't speak the language, didn't know anyone here other than the family that I had just met, my grandmother, my aunts, and my uncle. And, got here in 1987 and been here ever since. And I found myself personally and professionally in Boston. It's become my home. It's become the home of my family. And it's a thriving city. It's an innovative city. It's a city that has lots of opportunities for our people. Boston, for me, has been just a great place to develop myself professionally and personally. If a kid from Honduras who didn't speak English that came here at 17 can do it, who are they to say that they cannot do it?
That is the best. I love that message, right? Yeah, absolutely. And Paul, Lisette, Grace, and obviously Jordan, when you came to this country, your English was very basic, if non-existent, right? I mean, you mentioned it there. That must have been one of many challenges.
Well, if you ask my friends, they still think I can't speak English very well, so they still teach me about my accent. But no, I mean, that's one of the biggest things I think that as immigrants, we need to understand that. And it's not, in order to be successful, for me, learning the language was critical. It's critically successful, critically important for me to become successful. It doesn't mean that you cannot become successful if you don't learn it, but I think it just opens up a lot of more doors. And so the first 6 months I was here, I literally just focused on learning English. I remember watching WGBH, watching Sesame Street, and really that was the way that I learned the language, watching, English TV soaps. And I remember my aunt telling me in Spanish the first time, en esta casa no se habla español. And that was it. That was the only time she spoke Spanish to me, because she wanted me to understand that learning English was going to be really critically essential for me.
Excellent, excellent. All right, now I want to take a look at some cool pictures of this young lady. Let's call it you're in your element. All right,
I'm
this
scared.
is Lisette in her element. Okay, that's you you love that, right?
Yeah.
What is that? Where was that taken?
So this was taken right across the street from my old high school. So if you look to the right, that is Lowell High School, where I graduated in 2009. And this building is the Lowell historical headquarters for the National Park Service. And so we were hired to essentially renovate and bring up to beautify the building, because it hadn't been worked on for a long time. So
where you went to high school for 4 years, right? And then, a couple years later, you're working right across where you went to school. Did you see a lot of your old teachers there?
I went to JFROTC, so I saw a bunch of my JROTC instructors, and so to see it full circle, right? To see that moment, because I was in Lowell Public Schools my whole life, so I did grow up in Lowell the whole time, and so to see myself in one of the largest projects we've done in Lowell, it's huge. It's been
excellent. Good for you. And did your mother finally get here? Is she
I
in
don't
the
know.
audience? We're waiting for your mom to get in the audience. For those watching at home, we have a very good-looking, with certain exceptions, crowd today. I'm not going to point you guys out, but most of you guys are good-looking, right? Grace, same thing for you, right? Right now, let's talk a little bit about Unidos in Power. You just had an event last month. Unidos in Power is a movement. And let's take a look at the video first, because the video kind of level sets, and then I want you to comment on the video. So let's take a look at the Unidos in Power event recap.
So tonight we have another exciting event that really brings together all of Latino leaders, leaders of Latino serving organizations, and our community.
Tonight is so important because this is a monumental year in the country's history. As Latinos, our numbers matter. This country cannot succeed without us, and we want our voices heard, and we want to make sure that we're part of the future of the country and the state of Massachusetts.
The importance of tonight is making sure that we demonstrate a united front as Latinos, and to make sure that we have all the organizations and different leaders across the Commonwealth coming together for one purpose, which is the progress of the Latino community.
Tonight, we have a group of our best Latinos talking about all kinds of different things that are very pertinent to our Latino community. So we have a great group of experts. We're so excited to get going tonight.
The panels were amazing. I heard so many impactful calls to action for our community to really engage with all of the folks that we're around, our networks, our neighborhoods, our communities, and really ensure that we are both holding ourselves accountable and all the leaders around so that we can make an impact.
For us, we know that as Latinos go, so goes the state, so goes the nation. And while it's challenging times, it's time to stand up for ourselves. And tonight, we begin.
My call to action is I want everyone to go on the Unidos website. I want everyone to sign up, unidosempower.org, and sign up, because there you will see a lot of relevant information about our movement. And Latinos, secondly, need to get completely educated in the facts and need to get educated in the story that we have to tell and the importance that we have in this country.
Unidos in Power is a movement for the future of Latinos in Massachusetts and the future of Massachusetts and the nation.
I loved about the event, and I want to share this with the audience, and Paul, you were there, Jordan, you were there. correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody left inspired. It was a positive event. You were looking at the future. So there was no lamenting. It was more about opportunities than challenges. We recognize challenge. You could just pick up the paper, you could look at it. But this event focused on opportunities, especially 2030 and beyond. Why 2030 and beyond?
I mean, 2030 is only 5 years away,
Right.
really. I mean, 4 years and minus a month, right?
Yep.
And that is enough time to be able to measure some change. And we, as I said earlier, I like a challenge, right? We are heading into making a change, a positive change, at a time when it's going to be difficult to do that, okay? But when you look at the number of Latinos that are in this country, in Massachusetts alone, okay, and you look at the way that we are impacting several sectors, manufacturing, all the sectors really, construction, 15% growth, 15% growth of the market in the next 5 years, okay? DEI efforts or not, we are still numbers, and we're going to impact those various industries. So Unidos is really about taking all of the divided effort that's out there. Not that we're not all family, because when we see each other, we're there. I can call any of these folks at any time, and they'll take my phone call. We are very united in that way.
Don't call me on a Saturday night.
No, no, no Saturday night. No.
Not
I know
Saturday
better.
night.
I do get your Sunday morning text,
Okay,
though. But more importantly, if we concentrate our efforts together, right? And if something's happening in construction and I get a phone call that says, hey, you're over there working on LGBTQ issues, but we know you have construction people over there. How can we impact each other's efforts to bring our entire voice to the table, right? So Unidos, we're not an organization that's going to compete with Amplify. Amplify does an amazing job. They have a great team. We're not going to compete for dollars or for work. What we want to do for Amplify is say, hey, how do we get housing and healthcare and immigration and other folks to back what you're doing in economic development and workforce for people and representation? How do we do that? So for a long time, this has been a dream of mine, and it's the only thing I'm doing right now outside from this self-reflection of working on Unidos to bring that together, to bring our voices together. If alone we represent the numbers, think of how loud our roar will be when we all come together under one message, one goal.
Okay, that's Unidos in Power, United in Power. So when you hear that, Amplify Latinx, you're also working there. I saw, Anida, your leadership was there. Mm-hmm. So this is one of those areas where I see a lot more of these organizations working together and in sync.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is we have to find a common ground and really have a concerted effort, because what's at stake is our Latino prosperity, and we can grow exponentially if we collaborate. So the more we unite, the more we find common ground, the more we attack initiatives as a unit, I think we'll see true growth, and kids like the ones that were in that crowd will benefit from it. As you know, there's 1 million Latinos to this day in the Commonwealth. It'll only continue to grow. And if we don't tell our story, somebody else will tell it for us. So I'm really excited for the future.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to get into a little fun segment here, right? In the last show, in our first show, we talked about how America changes us, immigrants, all of us, right? So I want you to think one way that America changed you when you came over. So we got Cuba, Mexico, Colombia, Honduras, right? I was born here, so I don't count. But let's start with you. Let's start one way that America changed you.
Okay, I'm Americano.
Yeah, gringo.
Gringo.
I'm the gringo.
It's funny, on our way here, we were having a little bit of this conversation, and I came here when I was 7, so it was such a transition or milestone type of time frame for my life that, I am a Colombian American. Like I can't go to Colombia and look like I'm, I look Colombian, but people pick up that I'm not actually from there. Yeah. And then when I'm here, it's like you're not a gringa either. So I think that is molded me into being the leader that I am. Is made the values that I have, and essentially, I love this country, so I serve for this country, and I'll serve over and over again because, I just admire it, and I know that being in a place like this is the root cause of my success as well. So I want to be able to have others go through the same.
Think about it. Hold on, you're edgy.
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan. One way that America, you came over from Cuba. Very different ideology, very different system, socialist, communist country to a very capitalistic one. How did it change you? One way.
Well, the quick answer is I went from wanting to play baseball all the time to wanting to play golf all the time.
Oh, geez. Oh, my God. Yes, that is a very pelota a golf.
That's it.
Oh,
it.
my God.
Yeah, and also went from watching Caso Cerrado to now La Hora del Café.
Oh, yeah.
So, just you wanna continue to adapt, right? And let whatever the area and the people you're around teach you whatever lesson that is, because who you are, whether it's Cuban, Mexican, Colombian, or Honduran, it's always going to be inside you. So I've always remained really open to learning what Boston had to teach me, and I've been really grateful.
Okay, so you ready? Just say what I say. Ready? Park the car and have the time.
Park the car and have it.
Oh, he did it. He's good. He's learned.
And I'm wearing my khaki pants.
You're wearing your khaki pants. Yeah. All right, tell me how to change you, Grace.
I think for me, and I'm actually appreciative of this day, of every day. I love Mexico. When I land in Mexico, it's my feet are at our home, right, where my grandmother lived, where I first ate frijoles and eat tortillas. That's it. But in Mexico, at the time when I was coming along, and even to some degree now, there's a pre-scripted role of what you're supposed to be. Where you were born, what social economic ground you came in, you're supposed to grow up and get married and have kids and whatever your sector is. And the way that America has changed me when I came to this country not at 7 years old, a little older. But here, you can actually determine your own destiny and your own future. And as a woman in the LGBTQ community, that allowed me to be my authentic self and still dream the dream of a home and a spouse and children and a dog and a mortgage and all of those things that are part of it. But also that who I am and what I bring is unique and needed, and that I didn't have to fit a script. And that changed me because that opened an entire world of opportunity and innovation in me.
Excellent.
So there's nothing I can't, every time I sit down to think about things, I always think everything is possible because this country changes you that way.
Yep. Didn't Kevin Garnett say that?
Yeah.
Anything's possible. Yoda, you remember that, right?
Anything's possible. And that's really what this country has allowed me to think about, dream about, and actually do. And similar to Grace, I found my voice here, right? I was very shy, meek, introverted type of kid, type of adolescent. I had dreams, but I didn't think my dreams would go anywhere, right? Living where I was living. But when I came here, something changed. So my voice changed. I was 17, so I was going through puberty, but my dreams changed. And the ability, my perception of the ability of achieving those dreams changed, right? And it activated me. And so, found my voice, found my confidence, was able to dream bigger, right? And realized that there was no limit to what I could achieve. Now, of course, there are barriers. Of course, there are challenges. Of course, just like anything else. But the ability for you to move, social mobility, I can't think of any other place where you have that opportunity coming from where we came from, coming under circumstances we came from. And for me to achieve the level of education that I wanted to achieve, I always wanted to achieve, was going to be only possible here.
Excellent. Yeah. Sometimes my father tells me, sometimes the most patriotic Americans are immigrants who have adopted and have become, by choice, Americans by choice. All right, let's open up to the audience. We have a very intellectual audience, I can tell. Look, this guy looks like he knows what he's talking about. You have a question, my friend?
I do.
Okay, go for it.
My name is Luis Encarnacion. I'm originally from the Dominican Republic. I live in Hyde Park. First of all, congratulations on this new program. I think it's important to hear the voices of our leaders, hear the story, inspire others as well. My question is, we recently heard from President Trump about opening to new media outlets such as this one, new podcasts, YouTubers. What's important for you guys from your perspective so that we can hear our voices through those challenges and how we can empower others through it?
Yeah, I think in terms of the media, and I'll answer this quickly. This is why all of us are here. When I called and I said, GBH is doing this Amplifies show in this form, it's an opportunity for us to tell our stories. through non-conventional media, because let's be honest, there's not many of these opportunities. So to your point, yeah, I think there will be more. Obviously, social media contributes, but in terms of conventional media outlets doing more of this, I see yes, absolutely doing more of this. Plus, that demographic train for us Latinos has left. We are going to be 1 out of 3 workers by 2030, right?
Correct.
So it's going to happen. Diversity, equity, and inclusion for Latinos is going to happen no matter what. So that train has already left. Great question. All right, give me some more questions. I want questions from the audience. Tim Estilos, who's going to win the Academy Award this year in Best Film of the Year?
My personal favorite would probably be Emilia Perez.
Eso.
But
all right, okay.
But I think it could also go to a film called either Conclave or perhaps The Brutalist. But we will see. But my vote is for Emilia Perez.
All right, very good. I see Albert Rodriguez is in the audience. So Albert, I know you had a question. You're looking for more big brothers and big sisters Latino, right? What's the importance of having more Latinos participate in these type of organizations, not just in the private sector, but it's in organizations like yours?
Yes, definitely. This is a great opportunity to hear about the professional background of so many of you that are making an impact. And that's what we're looking pretty much also in Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I'm part of that organization in which mentorship is a big component to it that leaves a mark, to new generations. So really looking forward to expand into that information as much as possible. But definitely, I really admire your work. I really admire your background and context, and really looking forward to what's coming up next.
I'm going to go one more, and then we're going to wrap. Alex von Lichtenberg. Alex, could you get on the scale? I just need to ask you one quick question. Alex, you've been waiting for the bow tie to come back. It hasn't come back yet. You've been wearing bow ties for 20 years.
I've got some to sell you if you want.
All right, we got to wrap this up. This has been great, guys. You guys are sensational. I hope we gave our audience, not just here, a little taste of new narrative about immigrants, right? I sense a lot of patriotism on your side. I said a lot of optimism on your side. So I'm going to give you guys the last word. What advice, one piece of advice for someone chasing the American dream? Look into that camera.
I would say it's all about the story you tell yourself. Make sure that you are always paying attention and lean on your resources. I mean, there's so many people that want to help. There's so many people willing, and all they're waiting for you to do is ask.
Excellent. Grace.
I think the best quote I've ever heard on this is, don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And I think that happens in our neighborhoods, it happens in our schools, it happens in our jobs. We bring something, and nobody can deny what we bring. So when you bring it with your whole self, and we'll make this country continue to grow and continue to be amazing.
Excellent. That's that.
Grace, took it. You have to have grit, and you have to have the want to go after things. And we have options, and it's our responsibility to pay it forward, and it's our responsibility to show the rest of the people, because there's going to be a time that we're not going to be here. So the best advice I can do is hurry up and do something for the rest of the people that are here.
Excellent. And Paul, last advice, again, for someone chasing their American dream.
I would say you don't have to go at it alone. There are many organizations that are here to help. Right? You have La Colaborativa, you have Amplify Latinx, you have Unidos en Power, you have Alpha, you have so many organizations that are here for the health, wellness, of Latinos and others. And I think that, understanding that, paying it forward, reaching back if you have achieved some measure or level of stability, success, knowledge, to share that with the rest of the community, I think is really, really important.
Excellent. This has been really important. Again, I want to thank all of you for taking time. You're very busy individuals. They came here to share their stories with you. So I want a round of applause for our great, great guests. I want a round of applause for our cafe, our Newsfeed Cafe staff. Newsfeed Cafe in the house. Our GBH staff. They work behind the scenes, in front, behind everything, and obviously our studio audience for coming by. And again, this is part of a series, GBH Amplifies. There are other folks in the community who will be sitting here, so make sure you tune in every week or every other week or whenever you can, every other day on our GBH platforms, and check out all the other shows in this series. Okay, thank you. See you next time right here at the Boston Public Library. Hey everybody, Alberto Vasallo reminding you our next GBH Amplify show will focus on the movies, one of my favorite subject matters. What's your top 3 movies? Well, we'll ask the studio audience and a panel, and we might be able to let you learn how you can be in the movies.